Welcome to What Works RVA, where we reveal images, sounds, and stories of people at work, home, and play. Today we're here with the president of the Raymond Kendall Group, Sanjay Rollins Tucker. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about the Raymond Kendall Group.
Raymond Kendall Group is a financial advisory firm where I help people make smart choices with their money concerning retirement, especially college funding, and just pretty much just building wealth in general.
All right, and you've been in business how long now?
I have been an independent financial advisor for 10 years. I'm celebrating 10 years actually.
Congratulations.
But I've been in the business since 1998 when I was a young person, starting out at a major banking institute here in Virginia, and got my Series 7 license, all the licenses that it takes to make investments for folks, to do trades and do all kinds of things that create wealth. Life insurance, annuities, stocks and bonds, all those things that it takes to create a foundation for building wealth. And those are hard assets as well.
You mentioned just a moment ago something about wealth creation. Explain that.
Wealth creation means different things to different people. Lots of times folks will say it just means a whole bunch of money. I want to be a millionaire. But wealth really means a lot more than that.
Exactly.
For most folks, wealth is being able to pay your car note, to buy a house and pay that, to send a child to school,
Right.
to be able to pay medical bills when it's necessary. So creating wealth has a different definition, or defining, if we put money to it. There's a different number that everyone has in mind. What's going to keep you from struggling, to continue to be prosperous, but not only that, to also transfer wealth to your family members, to continue that legacy. And so when we talk about wealth, and we can't talk about wealth without talking about legacy, and also wealth is building habits, good habits, and so there's not a monetary number to that.
That's right.
You're also transferring your values and your morals. So wealth is the total picture.
Absolutely.
But in order to be successful at that, it does take money.
Yes.
So the process that we use is, number one, understanding what your goals are, understanding what is important about money to you. Everybody has a different definition. What are your ultimate goals? And a lot of clients want to, of course, build wealth for retirement and for sending their children to school, but they also have other things. They want to be able to give back as well. Those are all things that you would need to have a written plan for.
Right.
So the first process is writing it down. The second is making sure that you understand what your net worth is. And your net worth is your assets minus all your liabilities.
That's right.
Having that written down, knowing what that number is.
Yes.
Also a spending plan. How much am I going to spend, and a guideline as to what I'm spending on. We make the mistake of sometimes saying we want things, and just because you can pay for it doesn't mean you can afford it.
Truer words have never been spoken.
So a written plan to understand where you start and where I want to go are very, very important. And that's when you start accumulating assets. Using your money as leverage to be able to do the things that you want to do.
You've given me the definition. Now, what's the process?
Well, let's talk about some of the process, which I kind of talked about as far as building your spending plan. The next thing is also utilizing different tools in order to build wealth. You're going to, first of all, make sure that you have the skills through employment, going to school, so that you can, because of course one of the important parts is having the income.
Yes.
So you got to have the income coming in. So once you build your skills, build your knowledge base, you want to also build your knowledge base about investing and building wealth as well. That doesn't mean you'd have to know every single thing, but you should know a general basis of why people do certain things. One tool for creating wealth is, which everyone should know, is compound interest.
That's right.
Understanding that your money earns interest, and then interest builds on top of that. So when you do that and repeat that process over a period of time, you build wealth. And I'll give you an example of at 6 years old, if you were to, your goal was to become a millionaire, putting $14 away a month at 9%. Now, I'll talk about a little bit about what earns you 9%. Until you're age 65, you become a millionaire. But if you wait until you're 40, it's about 45, now you've got to put $1,300 away. So that's the power of compound interest. And what am I saying? Save early. Try to save early.
That's right.
But it's never too late to start saving at all. So you have to save. That process is accumulating your wealth. You also want to consider certain vehicles. Social Security is a very important vehicle for folks that are retiring. It actually provides about 33% of folks' income for retirement. It may not be here in another 50 years.
Exactly.
But the principle of putting away money while you're working is the same thing. And so you want to duplicate what Social Security is already doing for you. But you don't want to wait for somebody else to do it. You have to take claim and save it for yourself. So I talked about compound interest, and so folks also need to understand that there's a difference between saving and investing. A savings account is just that. It's for short-term money. Everyone needs to have an emergency fund. You need to be able to get to your money. It needs to be liquid. And so that's short-term. That's money that stays in an account probably less than 5 years. So when we talk about investing, we're talking about long-term. And I want to make sure I get that point across, because folks will commingle it and think that I'm not going to invest because I may lose money. But what they're really saying is, I may need this money next year, and I can't lose any of the principal. Well, that does belong in savings account. But if you're investing for the long term, we're talking about 7-10 years down the road or more, you really do need to look at investing your money. And investing would mean different things such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, all those vehicles that typically or historically have gained around 8% or more over the long term. So that's very, very important. That all your money also needs to be diversified. And when we talk about diversified, we're talking about not only guaranteed, but we're also talking about things that are not guaranteed. We're talking about real estate as well.
Yes.
We're talking about building your portfolio by buying real estate. Even if it's not just your house and other houses, there's ways to do it in the investment arena. So that's really important that folks understand the difference between savings and investing. You have to do both.
Sanji, in wealth creation, it includes business ownership?
Business ownership is one of the parts of creating wealth. Wealthy folks, the most wealthy, if we look at the 1%, most of them are business owners. They created wealth as that was one of the tools that they use. So when you're looking at starting or owning a business, you want to make sure that you get the education that's necessary for owning a business, and really for anything, even employment, because the folks that have the most skills are going to be those that, number one, are going to be the higher income earners. And that means whether you're in a business and starting your own business, or you're working for someone. That is true on both sides. However, when you're working for someone else, you have to remember that you are working for someone else, and you're transferring some of your wealth to them. So when you're ready to start your own business and get into your own, or owning your own business, You want to make sure that you transfer those skills and that knowledge base that you have for yourself.
Sure.
But you want to do your homework when you're starting a business and owning a business, because it's not just something that you work at it more than anything else. It's nonstop. And also, you're probably going to need that savings that we talked about.
Yeah, indeed.
In order to fund it. You got to get capital.
That's right.
And so working and also putting a business plan together and a start date, and maybe working on a job at the same time while you're doing your business to support it is also a good idea.
Sure it is.
Folks have different levels of doing all kinds of things. So I always say also understand your personality, understand your money personality,
Sure.
as well as just your personality, period, because that can make or break you. And understanding that you have to have the discipline to do certain things. Some folks, everyone can have some kind of business, but everyone is not necessarily going to be successful.
And they don't have that stick-to-itiveness.
Exactly,
if you will.
exactly. It could be a very long time. It could take 20 years for your business to
Sure.
really take off. And so
Sure.
you have to really understand that and know that. And in that time period, hopefully you've had that savings and investing that you've done so that you can, of course, live off it. But if you're passionate
Yes.
about something and you feel a need, you will definitely be able to start and own your business, and you will be successful with it if you stick to it.
And Sandra, you shared a lot with us today. How many years again have you been doing this?
I have been doing this for 10 years.
Wow.
I was with corporate America. I built my skills up and decided to step out on faith.
Yes. That's what it takes.
That's what it takes. With my own business that I named after my children, the Raymond Kendall Group. And so the purpose of it was I really wanted to help folks that look like everyday individuals, mom and pops,
Sure.
with their retirement, with their money, and especially also women, because women have a unique financial issues that I can relate to. So really helping folks that I really wanted to go after, as opposed to folks that pretty much had it all. I wanted to go into that arena, and that's the reason why I stepped out and been in business and will continue to be in business for a long time.
All right. Sanji, once again, thank you for the inspirational conversation and words of wisdom when it comes to financing. And if you would like more information on the Raymond Kendall Group, visit their website that's listed there at the bottom of the screen. And again, Sanji will be there to give you more information. Also, you may give her a call. The number is also located at the bottom of the screen.